Welcome to Murfreesboro Storytellers. Today we're originating on the campus of MTSU in the Strobel lobby, which is between the Davis and Weiser Patton science buildings on the campus, in a science corridor of innovation, as a matter of fact.
I think that's what we call it, John.
Absolutely. And our special guest for this month is Dr. Sidney McPhee, 10th president of MTSU, about to begin his 17th year as president of Middle Tennessee State University. Welcome, Dr. McPhee.
It's great to be here with you.
You are a long-timer as far as college presidents go, and you've done a great job over the years.
Well, thank you. I consider myself truly blessed, and I really attribute that to the outstanding people that we have at our university. We have individuals who've been working here at MTSU for years and have built not only the foundation, but continue to move the university forward in excellence. And these are some very challenging times for higher education, not just in the state of Tennessee, really, but in the United States, in our nation.
Of course, MTSU has been a part of this community since 1911. Mm-hmm. You recently released an economic impact study about MTSU in the community. That really was very revealing.
It was, and we hadn't done one in about maybe 15 years or so. We all know that a great city is made up of a great university. There's really no great city or town without a great university.
Absolutely.
And more than just the economic impact, I think the presence of the university that brings life to the community, but for our citizens and our taxpayers who invest in the university, it is, I think, helpful for them to know the hardcore numbers. Over $1.1 billion annually
that's
being pumped in this community, in this area. And then the number of jobs that are created that help this university really become, and community, one of the best not only in the state of Tennessee, but I just read a recent article where Murfreesboro is considered one of the best places to live in the United States of America.
And it is, and a lot of people are finding that out too, coming here. What are the challenges ahead as far as enrollment? I know at one time funding was based on recruiting and getting students here. Now that's changed where it's based on the product that you send forth, the graduates that come out.
Sure. There's a new formula that was put in place, I think, in 2010. But I want to correct the information that's been out there as this new formula was rolled out. The fact that the state funded the university based on enrollment. If that were truly the case, MTSU would have been flushed with money, because for about 10 years, MTSU was the only institution that was growing. When I became president in 2001, we had like 13,000 or 14,000 students. We got up to a high of 27,000. And the state did not fully fund the institution. There's all kinds of data that shows that MTSU was one of the lowest funded institution in the state. And so while there is this great fanfare about this new formula, which is now based on outcomes, graduation, retention, and I support that, by the way. I think it's important to know where we were and where we're headed with respect to the enrollment piece. As you know, the 2008 crash of the recession had a significant impact on the community and on universities. People were without jobs, and so a lot of individuals came back to school. Now the economy is blooming. People are finding work. I'm hearing that a lot of companies are struggling to find employees. And so we've seen that impact. In addition, the demographic for the last 5 years shows a significant decline in high school graduating seniors, just the population. And so you are seeing a struggle across the nation of individual institutions trying to keep up with their enrollment. We've been impacted by it, and of course, compounding that was the new Tennessee Promise. all of the four-year institutions have had an impact on and we certainly support free community college, but a lot of students who are qualified to come to MTSU, certainly you can't blame them and their parents are taking advantage of a free 2 years of college. And hopefully we'll see the benefits of that down the road this year or maybe next year.
A little early to really tell, I guess.
Yes, it's really too early to tell. But having said all of that, being the largest undergraduate university for many, many years, focusing exclusively, mostly on undergraduate because of state mandates and the Gaia lawsuit that the state was dealing with, MTSU was able to hold on to its freshman class, which is about 3,000 students a year, new freshmen, first-time freshmen. That is really amazing considering all of those factors that came to play in the last 3, 4, 5 years. So we are now seeing a return. In fact, this year we have seen an increase in applications, an increase in admits, and now we are working to make sure that those who were admitted are enrolled.
Sure.
And then the second piece of this, what we are struggling with, and most of the universities are struggling with this, is the retention of students. Our average family income, median income for MTSU students, about $60,000. UT Knoxville is about $120,000. What does that mean? Many of our family members are working. Many of our students, they have family to support. Right. And so they start and they stop. Then life happens, illness in the family, etc. They start and they stop. And so we are working very hard to try to address that issue along with the economics. Because the state hasn't really funded the universities, all the universities like they should. Tuition has gone up over the years. We're finally getting to settle it down to 1 or 2% or 3% a year. A lot of students are struggling to afford a college education. And I hear it across this community. Just a couple of days ago, I was at one of the local restaurants, and the server, I always ask the server, are you an MTSU student?
I do the same.
And he said yes, and I said, are you excited about the new semester starting? And he said, well, I have to stop out and working to, earn some money to be able to come back. And I hear that time and time again. So you have all of these factors coming into play at our university, but we're able to at least keep the momentum going.
How about a word about some of your recruiting trips that have been very fruitful, I would say?
Yes, the university has this really exciting, what we call our True Blue Tour during the fall semester. It's been around for years. It actually started prior to my arrival, and we have just built on it over the years. Right. We used to go to all of the major areas of the state, Memphis, Knoxville, Johnson City, Jackson. We've now expanded, and we take the entire university academic operation.
That's a tremendous program.
We set up these informational sessions. We have the academic deans there. We have department chairs, some department chairs. We have faculty. We have advisors. And I clear my calendar during the fall, and I travel with the group where we would have a reception for counselors in the area at usually a luncheon that day, and then the evening we have set up a informational session where we invite prospective students and their parents to come and learn about the university. The feedback we've gotten on that over the years has just been tremendous, John. Many parents have said they have been to many universities, open house, and there was nothing like MTSU.
That's great.
We provide information to them. We are there to really answer their questions. It has been so successful that we have now expanded to out-of-state sites.
Okay.
We now go to Atlanta, Huntsville, Alabama, and of course, of all places, Bowling Green, Kentucky.
Oh,
And
wonderful.
I've gotten great response. We've added Louisville this year and Birmingham.
Okay.
Our out-of-state application has gone up 25%. And it is directly attributed to the outreach, this True Blue tour. We also added, if you remember, a specific tour for Williamson County. We would have one for Middle Tennessee area, and we usually would have it in Nashville and Davidson County. And our partnership now with the Williamson County schools, we, the past 2 years, have had a specific True Blue tour in the Franklin area, and it has been an overwhelming success.
Wonderful, wonderful. How about your recruitment of foreign students? I know you've been very successful in attracting a lot of students from China.
Yes, and really from really all around the world. We have students from 65 different countries around the world. And most universities, like MTSU, as we deal with these enrollment challenges as a result of the economics and as a result of the demographics, we have turned to the out-of-state and international. And that is one of the reasons why MTSU has been able to really hold its own in its enrollment over the years. We have been extremely successful in that regard. It takes time to build those relationships, but again, just statistically, when I came, we had about 300 international students total. Now we're the #1 institution of international student in the state. We have over 1,100 to 1,200 international students. And economically, it is a positive impact on the community because these students pay out-of-state fee, which is almost double that of in-state. And they live in the community, they rent apartments, they go to the grocery store, they buy gas, they pay taxes.
Right. You've had a tremendous building program during your time as president of MTSU. Let's talk about some of your successes there.
Well, we've been very fortunate, and we've seen the growth in our facility during this very difficult time for higher education during the recession. We have, over the last maybe 10 to 12 years, we have about over $1 billion, approaching $1 billion in new construction or renovation of facilities. We've always had a very beautiful campus, but if you look around now, in the last 5 to 7 to 8 years, the campus has completely changed for the better. And I hear this from alums. I was in Memphis just a couple of days ago and met with one of our alums in Memphis, who's a very successful chocolate maker. He's internationally known, world known. And he was just saying that I came back for homecoming last year and I couldn't recognize the campus. You know, we have our new science building, $147 million, a new student union. We've built 2 parking garages. We've renovated this facility that we're in right now.
Success, right.
And I must say that it has really added a very neat dimension to the university, that when visitors come and see the campus and the cleanliness of the campus is very impressive.
How about innovative programs? I know concrete industry management program being one, and many others that you brought forth.
Again, prior to my arrival, I don't take credit for this at all. The university has always been one of the leaders in the state in developing what I call niche programs, programs that are unique but also are in demand in terms of jobs and careers. And it's from our aviation to our recording industry. You mentioned our concrete industry, our construction, the list goes on. In the last couple of years, we've continued that trend, actually. We have started a new program in fermentation sciences. And it's beyond just making beers and alcohol. It's you know, the production of yogurt, the production of cheese. The demand is absolutely outstanding in that area. We also found that there's a great demand for brewmasters, not only in this area, but in the United States. We've partnered with a business entity, Steel Barrel, company. That they have broken ground onto building a brewery right almost 10 minutes, 15 minutes from the campus, which will allow our students to have some practical on-hand experience prior to graduating. We have developed a new program, a degree program in religious studies. That is unique for a public institution.
Yes, it is.
But many students, particularly first-generation students, would want to study in religious studies, focus or major in religious studies, but then they had to go to a private institution, and as you know, the cost of the private institution is pretty high. The response we've gotten for that program has been exceptional. We've also developed a new Flex MBA program through the Jones College of Business. The enrollment has just skyrocketed in that program. And of course, the Mechatronics engineering program. Started about 3-4 years ago with just 20 to 30 students. Now we have approaching 400 majors in that degree program.
And that particularly fits into industries like Nissan and many others.
Yes, we get great support from Nissan, Bridgestone, Volkswagen, Siemens. It's a unique program in that it articulates with certification. I think Oakland High School has a program that the student can go into Motlow and then Motlow to MTSU and graduate without hassle with a degree in that area.
You're in a new era, I guess, with MTSU as well as the other major institutions out of the Board of Regents that each has its own Board of Trustees.
Yes.
Tell us about how that's changed operations and relationships and for the future.
Well, obviously, the focus of the university becomes the primary interests on the part of these board members. And I will say that the governor did an exceptional job in selecting board members. There are a number of outstanding individuals in this community who volunteered, and I wish it were a little bigger. It's because we had so many good people that were left off the first group of nominees. Now they have been confirmed. We've had 2 board meetings. The chairman of our board is one of our graduates and a former student athlete, it's Chairman Steve Smith. Our vice chair is Darrell Freeman, who is an entrepreneur and has given to this university has in many different ways, financially and other ways, the same as Chairman Smith and others. So it's a new era, and it will give a new energy, and in some cases a new focus of the university as it relates to accomplishing its mission. The governor made it very clear that this is an area where he would like to see the universities be a little bit more intentional about focusing on their mission and then being a part of this effort to increase the number of adults with a post-secondary education. His effort to drive to 55 is the #1 priority for higher education, post-secondary education in the state, and this new board will help us accomplish those goals.
What does the future hold for MTSU as far as you're concerned? What would you like to do next to add programs, add facilities, or?
Well, we are pretty good with facilities over the years. As mentioned, we're approaching $1 billion in the last 10 or something years. We want to continue to build a reputation of this university. People know now about MTSU.
Oh, yes.
I mean, it's no longer that local college. It's a major comprehensive research institution. As a result, though, of the years and years of being held back of the Gaia lawsuit, the lawsuit that Tennessee State had with the state that really prevented the university from developing graduate programs. We have been set back a bit, although we are making some progress in that area. When I became president, we had 0 PhD programs. Now we have 12 in some very unique areas, you know, molecular biosciences, the teaching of math and sciences. So the future, we hope to continue to build on that, build our graduate program. Now, we're not going to try to be all things to all people And we're not going to be throwing degree programs on the wall to see what sticks at the graduate level. We want to look at what the needs of the state. And for an example, we've just a couple of years ago developed a new degree, Masters of Fine Arts in the Recording Industry. That has been well received. So new focus in that area. Hopefully our long-awaited new face of the campus, the renovation of Middle Tennessee Boulevard.
I'll ask you about that,
It's
right.
going to be a beautiful, right now it's a headache, and I apologize to our citizens and our community members of the hassle of just getting around, but it's going to be worth it. I also see a continued focus on trying to help more first-generation college students deal with the financial difficulties in earning a college degree.
And so many of our graduates are first generation.
First generation, and we don't apologize for being a first generation. It is a noble goal that the university pursue in this area, but the real challenge of the funding and support and the increase in tuition has to be addressed in the future.
Let's talk about athletics. The front porch of institution, in a way, gets a lot of publicity and notice for MTSU. What's the future hold for our athletics program?
Well, you know, before I answer the future question, I want to make sure we understand that MTSU has had a strong athletic program for years.
Yes, please
We're
do.
building on that. We've had incredible coaches. Coach Dean Hayes, 40, I guess he's in his 50th year here at the university.
Close to it, if not
Wins
30.
championship. And we have certainly built on that. Now our football program is doing well. Men and women's basketball. Clearly everyone knows about MTSU now.
I think
Just
so.
ask Michigan State and the University of Minnesota. It's amazing what the exposure when you have an athletic program that does it right and win at the highest level, what it does for your university.
The high percentage of graduates out of the athletic programs is tremendously impressive, I think.
That's another pride point for the university. The actual graduation rate for student athletes is significantly higher than the university, the regular university student. But I'm really pleased with the 100% graduation in the last several years in our basketball, our men's basketball program. Coach Kermit Davis is doing an exceptional job. The same thing with Coach Insel, Rick Insel, our women's basketball program. We continue to really lead, being the top 10% of academic performance in the NCAA, what we call the APR, that measures the academic success of programs in its athletic program. We're with Notre Dame, Stanford, Ivy League institutions. MTSU is up there in terms of its success with regards to the retention and graduation of student athletes.
Any aspect of the university that we haven't covered, haven't mentioned, that you particularly would like to bring forth?
Yes, I think we need to acknowledge the tremendous support over the years by our alums and members of this community. The city of Murfreesboro, the county, Mayor Ernest Burgess has been he's a graduate, he's done a great job supporting the university. As you know, we've, as a result of the spring fling, the city has supported the new baseball stadium that we have, the new track and field. We have a great partnership with the city, the county, and the Chamber of Commerce. And then we have some alums who's been with this institution during the good times, during the tough times, and they have been a major part of developing this institution to what it is today, an outstanding academic institution.
And as you alluded to earlier, we have alumni all over the world now.
All over the world. We actually, our total alums right now is about 120,000. And we have alums all over Asia, Africa, Europe. In fact, several years ago, I started a new alumni association in Bangkok, Thailand. Most people have forgotten that the Thai government in the 60s, 70s, and 80s sent just about all their civil servants to MTSU to get a degree. Now, these individuals are in very important positions. The former Deputy Prime Minister of Thailand is an MTSU graduate. The head of the International Airport, the head of the intelligence for the country. And when we had that program for the alums, 250 showed up at the meeting that I had in Bangkok, and still very proud of their university and have fond memories of this community.
An impressive figure to me is the number of graduates that continue to live right here in the Middle Tennessee area, or certainly across Tennessee.
Yes, and I like to describe it as that we do not export talent.
Very good.
When students come, whether they from around the state or out of state, and in some cases internationally, they come to MTSU, they get a degree, they stay. Over 70% of all of our graduates over the years stay within an hour or so of the university. So we are a significant part of the workforce, providing an educated workforce for the state of Tennessee, but particularly Middle Tennessee area.
As a final question, if you had one wish, what would it be? Is that a fair question or not?
That is a fair question. As I said, we have great support from our alums, and we have alums all over the Middle Tennessee area, all over the state. One wish would be that our athletic events, our cultural events would be standing room only.
Yes.
We have incredible athletes that are doing unbelievable things for our university, putting us on the map. And we're making progress. Murphy Center is getting to be filled up again, but I'd like to see Murphy Center a waiting list for Floyd Stadium, Murphy Center. When we have our concerts for our School of Music, our plays, and our theater is doing really well. Right. There is standing room there. But more greater participation of the community and our alums on activities of the university would be something that I would wish would continue to grow.
Great. Dr. McPhee, thank you so much for being with us. 10th president of MTSU, beginning his 17th year as president of this fine institution. We're pleased to have had Dr. Sidney A. McPhee as our guest on Murfreesboro Storyteller. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, John.
Okay.
And thank you for your good work, not only at our university, but in this community.
Well, thank you.